it now and I ain't never gon' back down. I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down. Said I'm fired up, I'm sorry your time's up. I see the top and I climb up. Came from the ashes, I rise up. Rise up, rise up. I want it now, I gotta rise up. Rise up, I want it now, I gotta rise up. Rise up, I want it now, I gotta rise up. Rise up, I want it now, I gotta rise up.
Oh yeah.
We've reached night number 7 of the 13th World Military Women's Football Tournament here in Spokane, Washington. 2 European counterparts get ready to battle here on the pitch as Ireland takes on Belgium. Hi everybody, hello to those of you in Ireland and Belgium staying up late or waking up early. I'm Alex Gould. Alongside me is U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Shelby Pruitt-Johnson. And Shelby, these two nations both looking for their first ever win in the tournament here in their first ever competition. Well, they're also looking for their first ever tally in its nation's history.
I think both these teams are coming out here and they're coming on a blank slate, an open playing field, a fair playing field, and they're going to have the chance to score, like you said, their first goal of the CISM tournament. Both
head coaches in Nico van Uitsel for Belgium, as well as the manager in Darren Cody, were both fired up about this matchup against the European counterparts. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of the previous match that just ended before this one. It was Cameroon taking on Germany. A big win, Shelby, for Cameroon.
Cameroon came out hard and they came out fast, and you can tell with their scores here. Look at that, just a beautiful push pass, and the crossbar and the goalpost itself was one of the worst defenders, or the best defenders, for the Germany team. Just Cameroon booting it and hitting it off the crossbar and deflecting it. But the goalkeeper there, she was doing a great job dipping and diving, and she did a great job deflecting what she could.
A 3-0 victory for Cameroon. That was one of the shots off the post that you were talking about. So Cameroon improved in Group A to 3-0, 9 points for the African nation. They are trying to be the first African nation to ever reach the gold medal match.
And I think last game really put them one step forward in getting to that gold medal match and being able to face some of the best teams here at the CISM tournament.
Let's take a look at the updated rankings and group standings. You see Group A, Cameroon leads with 9 points, 3-0. A goal differential, Shelby, of plus 16. Those are video game numbers for Cameroon. The United States and Germany each with 6 points, but Germany is now done. They will not play anymore in Group A. The United States takes on Ireland in a couple of days. Ireland and Belgium, again, looking for their first point or potentially 3 points in the CISM Women's Military Tournament. And then you see Group B there will continue tomorrow as they get ready for the CISM March. Of course, we've talked about this, but the CISM March unites these two nations, unites these women out on the pitch.
And we talk a lot about the little kids that are out there walking out with the players. They come from all around, and they're here to watch these ladies play and have an inspiration to see these ladies put in work on the field and off the field, and getting to walk alongside them here on the field today at Union Stadium.
It's a good point by you, and that's something that has been apparent. Doesn't matter what nation. United States, of course, hosting, but you see them holding hands with a lot of these women, these military women on the pitch, and it's a really cool sight. This is one of the coolest parts of the match, and it happens before the match. And, of course, you get into the action, and the story tells itself. But now we will hear Belgium's national anthem, followed by the national anthem for Ireland.
And now, the national anthem of Ireland. Thank you. You may be seated. Let's give a big round of applause for the Spokane Surfs.
Two terrific national anthems there for Belgium and Ireland. As you take a look on your screen here, the tale of the tape. Obviously, these two still searching for their first win. That's the story we talked about, Shelby, as well as their first goal. Now let's talk about the referees in today's match. Head referee is Giancarlo Pavone from Canada. The AR1 is Don Frein from the Netherlands. The AR2 is Janiba Dembele from Mali, making her first appearance as a referee here in Spokane. And then the fourth official is Mariska Overtoom, also from the Netherlands. All right, let's take a look at Ireland's starting 11 under manager Darren Cody. Goalkeeper is Lauren Dunn. The left back is Leah Walsh. Left center back is Siobhan O'Sullivan. The right center back is Shannon Thomas. And rounding out the back line, the right back is Kim Turner. Two holding midfielders today for Ireland, Leah McAvoy and Catherine Meany. The left wing is Sophie Donnelly. Angela McGuigan is one of the forwards holding back a little bit, and then the right wing is Shelley Kehoe. Rounding out the starting 11 for Ireland is Saoirse O'Reilly, the center forward. Now for Belgium, under head coach Nico van Eertsel, the starting 11 goalkeeper is Jolien Bielens. The left back is Emily De Puter. The left center back is Kiersey Bochmans. The right center back is Laura Taufs. And the right back is Sarah van Latem. The left midfielder is Kim van der Kruijsen. The center mid is Kim van Hoof. The right mid is Sophie Sachlet. The left wing is Lara van Lechbecher. The center forward is Elena Arnaldi. And the right wing, rounding out the starting 11 for Belgium today, is Deborah Teals.
You
There
can
you
tell
go, starting 11.
both teams are coming out excited here. The Belgium team came out loud and proud with their chant, and then the Ireland team taking a picture on the sideline before they come out on the field. This is a game that they're both excited for, and like we said, trying to get that first goal of the tournament here for both teams.
Again, we say hi to those of you in Ireland. I know it's an 8-hour time difference, whether you stayed up late, even though it's going to be a Monday morning in Ireland, so maybe going to bed, but 3 a.m. in Ireland, maybe you get up for work around 4:30 in the morning, and so you can join us for the second half. But in Belgium, 9-hour difference, it's 4 a.m., so maybe you get up for work 4:30, 5 in the morning, can join us then, or maybe you're here with us now. These women, they work so hard on and off the pitch. They deserve all the attention in the world and on the stream. But Ireland, Saoirse O'Reilly is going to start with it here. And they're waiting for the whistle from Giancarlo Pavone from Canada, who is the head referee in tonight's match. But taking a look at the weather, I know it's still hot, but not as hot as the last couple of days. It's 82 degrees Fahrenheit here, so it's a little bit cooler, and it's going to drop down to about 70 degrees by the end of the match, which is picture perfect. I know everyone in Belgium and Ireland appreciates that. We are underway. Saoirse O'Reilly and Ireland, of course, in the white and green. Belgium using all their colors, the black, yellow, and the red.
Talk about the weather a little bit here, but I'll tell you what, I know those girls down there are not feeling it cooler than it was yesterday. That turf, it makes the temperature rise 8 to 10 degrees hotter, and you can feel it rising off the ground there. And I know that they're working their butts off, and that's why we have 2 hydration breaks. In between the halves, we have these hydration breaks that are mandated to make sure that these ladies are getting the hydration they need to continue to play at their full potential throughout the tournament.
One of the big stories as well is this will be an Irish throw-in. One of the big stories as well, actually it's going to be a Belgian throw-in. One of the stories as well, of course, is Lauren Dunn. We'll get her on the screen in a moment. The keeper for Ireland staring directly into the sun. We have seen a couple of goals scored because of shots well outside the 18 that wound up reaching the back of the net because the keepers lost sight of the ball. And so Dunn, unfortunately for Ireland, has to look straight into the sun in the first half. The keeper for Belgium, and Jolien Bielens, is only going to have to look up into the sun, I'd say, about 15 or 20 minutes for the second half. That is why those coin flips are pretty important before the match, especially in the nightcap.
Well, not only the goalkeeper, Alex, it's every player here on the team for both of them, really. If you're facing the sun for any type of air ball or anything in the air, it's hard to see that ball, and you may lose it. And like you said, we've seen that a couple times here.
Good battle on the far flank here. That's Elena Arnaldi. And cleared away nicely there by the left back and Leah Walsh. You know what amazes me? That they announced the starting lineups 2 minutes into the match, right?
They're trying to get the pronunciations down, Alex. You do a lot better at that.
100%. Well, that's one of those, I think, on the timing. They could still probably get in right after the national anthems. But free kick here for Belgium over on the far flank. Low liner and cleared away for now. That was off the right foot of the right back in Kim Turner. But everyone here stateside, everyone in Europe, anticipating this match because they want to see if one of these nations can get their first win, can get their first goal. Could be an opportunity. Good 1v1 defense there by Shannon Thomas, the right center back. So Ireland, I think they want to forget about their last match against Cameroon, who's been so dominant. They lost 12-0. Belgium, again, both nations trying to grow as much as they can. Belgium lost 10-0 to the United States in their first match and then improved. Again, they got their rest. They had flight troubles. They got here at about 9:30 in the morning, the day of the tournament, the day it started this past Monday, and had to play the United States. Already not easy playing the United States, Shelby, but how about sleeping in the Denver airport overnight? So they're trying to forget about all that and compete here in Spokane.
You know, I think the Belgian team got a little bit of their rest. They've had 3 days off now to scout, to go around Spokane, to relax, to be with the team and get to know each other a little bit better, to connect. And so now I think they're ready to bring their A game. Ireland, on the other hand, like you said, has had a day off. They had a day off, and it's nice to have that day, but compared to 3, having the rest is really vital.
Ball is going to die here, and it was going to stay in, and realizing that was Siobhan O'Sullivan. Here's a cross into the box. Ireland clears for now. That was Shelley Kehoe, the right wing. Played out wide for Belgium. Deborah Teals finds a teammate here in Laura van Lechbecher. Sophie Sachelet right by the corner flag. That's touched by Ireland and the holding midfielder and Catherine Meany. So a throw in here for Belgium. I'm a little surprised. I know it's still early, only 5 minutes into the match here, Shelby. I'm a little surprised, though, that Belgium, when they're getting the ball down the flanks, that they're not trying to cross it into the box. We've seen one, but they're trying to play it back and potentially maybe to get a better angle on the cross.
You stole the words right out of my mouth. I think that they're kind of reset, pass it back, reset, so that way they can get that better angle to make that cross.
Some space to run here. Boy, that was a good deflection there by Kiersey Bochmans, the right back. Otherwise, Saoirse O'Reilly might have had some space. So far, too, I think we're seeing some good physical football. I like what I'm seeing out on the pitch. And I think both nations understanding that, A, it's been a tough group. Group A has been pretty dynamite. But B, I think growing. I think we can see that throughout the tournament. And also, too, for Ireland, we talked about them losing 12-0 to Cameroon. I know it's a match where you grow, and at the same time, maybe want to forget about that match. But the first match against Germany, only allowing 1 goal in the first half. I actually thought their back line was excellent against a really tough Germany team. Right foot try, not going to count. And the flag went up. That's Dawn Frein, the assistant referee from the Netherlands. And now you can see the hat has been placed on Lauren Dunn. We've seen a lot of keepers who have had to rock the hat. And something that a lot of keepers are not used to, Shelby.
And I like what you were talking about a little bit before about the defensive line. I think we've seen pretty often here in this tournament that the defensive line has been really the saving grace for some of these teams out here. It's just the offensive players and kind of getting it in an offensive attacking position is a little bit more difficult, and it is a difficult thing to do to transition and make that transition to offensive. But you can tell the defensive line is on all these teams have been pretty well solid here in the tournament.
Tell you what, Sophie Donnelly is creeping over here on the near side. But the ball is Saoirse O'Reilly. That is going to be a foul on Belgium. So it'll be a free kick right around center circle at midfield. That's something to look for here early, and I'm sure tracking well is Sarah von Latham, but pencil in number 7 right now. Sophie Donnelly, the left wing. He has a little bit of space here. See if the Belgium back line notices that. Ball towards the middle. Saoirse O'Reilly couldn't get to it, and it's going to find the arms of the keeper, and Jolien Bielens. So Bielens is in the goal today. That's a keeper change, Shelby. It is not Lisa Malfra. So Bielens gets the assignment. No R5 med service for Belgium.
You can see it a lot. The Belgium team, you can tell they trust their back line, passing it back there and keeping it, resetting there, and so we can pass it out forward.
And then, of course, a couple of them play rugby as well.
Definitely a lot of sports with your hands, right? And making that transition from going to playing with only your feet to playing a sport, much like soccer, the Gaelic football, and having to use your hands and feet. Now that's tough.
So 0-0, 11 minutes in. If you're just joining us, both sides trying to feel each other out here. Belgium's had a couple of chances. I'd say possession right now is about 55-45, maybe 60-40 in favor of Belgium. Good aggressive defense there by McGuigan. McGuigan with some space in the middle. McGuigan was trying to find a teammate over there in Shelley Kehoe, but could not connect the pass. Now the counter is on for Belgium. Good ball here. Opportunity for Belgium. Inside the 18. Left foot save. It's up in the air. No keeper. See what the call is. It's going to be a goal kick. Nice save there by Lauren Dunn off the right foot of Deborah Teals, the right wing.
And you saw Teals, she didn't give up. It's that deflection and that crash in the goal to make sure that when it did deflect, she was able to get another touch, just not making it in the goal.
Also, too, we're talking about Ireland and the different sports they play. Now, of course, everyone's speaking English, so the communication's the same, but it's different in ways because the way you're going to communicate in a sport like Gaelic football or camogie, whatever it may be, it's going to be different. And so a lot of it, too, is learning the diction, learning the terminology, where to be and where to set up. And I'm wondering if they take a certain amount of things from each sport and kind of blend them together.
I was just thinking that, too. If you're playing a rugby, lacrosse-like sport, that might be why they're really aggressive coming out here and playing physical here on the field. And it helps out a lot, I'm sure.
Van Bechier here for Belgium. Connection not made between her and Teals, and this will be a goal kick for Lauren Dunn.
Lauren Dunn, an infantry soldier in the Irish Defence Forces. She's telling her team, push back, I got this, it'll go far, and we'll see here. Maybe not as far as she wanted, but they're moving it out. The defensive line is able to push it up and make sure that we remain on the offensive.
Space here again for McGuigan. McGuigan slicing and dicing. This could be a good ball and an opportunity. Inside the 18, keeper's out, and a good decision there by Bielens, the keeper, to go out and get it. Otherwise, Shelley Kehoe could have found the back of the net. That was a beautiful ball there from McGuigan.
I think really one of the first chances we've seen in an attack. Let's check it out. It's really the first chance we've seen between both teams making it past and almost a shot on goal there. That pass was perfect, and I think they'll continue to keep doing those passes and get McGuigan a goal in the back of the net.
So if Kehoe was maybe one step quicker, would have had a chance there. This is Sophie Donnelly, second lieutenant in the Army. She's from Wexford. Passing it back to the keeper there is Kiersey Bochmans, and booted away by Bielens. Good interception there by Teals. This is Elena Arnaldi. Arnaldi working 1v1 on Kim Turner. Now to the middle of the pitch and out wide. Right foot ball into the 18 and cleared away.
You know, we talked about this being a pretty fair match, a well-matched teams for both of them, and you can tell here, like you were saying, the possession's been around the 50 mark for both teams, and then it's been moving backward and forward through the entire length of the field. And I think this is going to be a great match, and hopefully we can get a score here in the first half.
Saoirse O'Reilly with some good speed here. Bielens, is she going to win the foot race? O'Reilly with the slide tackle, and that's going to be a foul on Saoirse O'Reilly. As Jean-Carlo Pavone, the head referee from Canada, let her know, and O'Reilly understood why she got called for the foul. I'll tell you what, Ireland doing a nice job stringing together some of these passes, good give and goes, and this is what we're talking about. Learning from each match. Understanding how this sport works, maybe compared to others, and what they're trying to do out on the pitch. I like what I've seen. It seemed like in the first 5-6 minutes, maybe Belgium had a little bit of an advantage. They were on the attack, and Ireland has come back strong the last 10 or so minutes. Saoirse O'Reilly with good wheels, who touched it last. It was last touched by Belgium and Sarah van Latem.
Well, you talk about learning from each match, but I also think it's learning from each match that they haven't played. These ladies have the chance to watch a lot of other great teams, very skilled teams like South Korea, France, Cameroon, and watch them play and learn from them and really execute it here on the field today. And they've been watching from home. We talked a little bit about the coaching staff, and they said, yes, they're all watching from home, and they're excited to see the plays that are kind of being put together to make these goals.
Saoirse O'Reilly trying to find Kehoe here, see if it's passed back to the keeper, and it is. But we have a special guest in the booth here today. Shelby, got a special guest. One of the liaisons for Ireland, Eric Northam, is joining us, and I know she doesn't have a headset on, but we appreciate you being here and seeing kind of how the show runs, and also we have a pretty good view. I'd like to say the best view in the house, as McGuigan trying to slice and dice. Dispossessed. Good foot on the ball that time by the left back and Sarah van Latem. Actually, that was Emily de Puter who got a foot on it. The left back. Belgium trying to counter here. But also, too, Erica was just explaining to me, and I want to give her credit, what camogie was. It's just a sport we don't have in the States, right? We have lacrosse. It's pretty big, and lacrosse is growing and growing and growing. Some field hockey. Definitely at some of the colleges and universities here. But camogie, I know what I'm doing when I get home. I'm gonna go watch some camogie. I'm serious. I want to look it up.
Well, Shelly Kehoe actually has a twin sister, Stacy Kehoe, and they play camogie together. And they are
cool.
pretty well. I was looking up on it, and they do a very good job playing the game.
So cool. I know you have siblings. Did you ever get to play soccer? Any other sports with them in a competitive setting?
Actually, I did. My junior year of high school, I played with my sister, who was a senior, and she was a defender. I played in the midfield, and my younger sister was the goalkeeper for our varsity team. And so all three of us got to play a whole season together, and that was a ton of fun. A little competitive, I think, even though we're on the same team.
All
but
three Pruitt sisters on the same team. That is really cool. That's pretty unique. I don't think a lot of people get that experience. I got to play baseball with my brother in a summer league. We were 3 years apart. And so even though we went to the same high school, he was still on the freshman team and I was on varsity. But he was 10 times better than me, so when it was all said and done, he's the guy you want to look at for the accolades. But yeah, we got to play in a summer league together, so that was fun. It was really enjoyable. I know baseball is a little bit different too because there's a little bit of it in Europe, but not a whole lot. As a player is down over there on the pitch for Belgium. And it looks like this is probably going to be the water break here. So the player that's down is number 7. That's Kim van der Kruijsen. So van der Kruijsen is down, and the medical staff and training staff is checking on her. I think it's the water break. Seems like it is. We want to thank Erica Northam for coming up here and giving the broadcast a look, see how it runs, and I think that's sometimes some of the most fun part of the job is being able to showcase to people how the show runs. I think a lot of people don't understand, and I'm hoping at some point, too, we can get a camera on the truck, because that's the coolest part of the broadcast that people don't understand. The truck back there, and I know there's multiple of them, it's really cool to see. If you ever get a chance to take a tour on a production studio or take a tour of the truck, I think a lot of people don't understand how cool it is. I know the sun is glaring in our eyes. It's okay, you know. I don't have a great face, you know, for TV. But hi, Alex Gould alongside me is U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Shelby Pruitt-Johnson. Really appreciate you guys joining us. These women, as always, what do I say? They deserve it. But so far, 0-0. I think we saw Belgium. Their attack was pretty good the first 5 to 10 minutes. And then Ireland showing something here. It's played to a draw, but Ireland the last 15 or so minutes has controlled the tempo.
Absolutely. They've been stringing together a lot of passes and being able to push it up on their offensive half and controlling the ball a lot better than we've seen. And like you said, I think it is that learning through the experiences and getting to watch all the other teams play.
Yeah, I thought that was a great point by you. Always learning, and even sometimes when you're not playing, right? Going at home, watching some of the film, watching back the tape. That's why we stream a lot of these things. And, you know, it's a pretty cool thing that they're able to do. And so, again, thank you for joining us in the booth as the women are back on the pitch here. So 0-0, 23rd minute of the match. Cameroon in the previous match, as we had mentioned in the Open, is the second team in the tournament to go 3-0 and get 9 points. The first in Group A in this group. Cameroon will take on Belgium in the second to last day of the tournament. So Cameroon and Belgium will play each other at night at 7 p.m. and then the afternoon match at 3:30 p.m. will be the United States and Ireland. Flag goes up. Guigan wasn't going to get to it anyway as the keeper and Beelans was able to get there first, but the flag went up offside. And I think that's the first call we've seen from the assistant referee from Mali and Geneva Dembele. So Dembele getting her first action of the tournament. And I know she took a picture to celebrate the moment. We see a lot of cool photos and a lot of women and men soaking up this tournament. And so anytime you get your first refereeing assignment of the tournament, that is pretty special.
But, you know, when you speak about soaking up the tournament, right, the CISM program also penciled in a cultural day for these teams. And kind of what that is a day out on the town. LRS gets to bus the teams on into Spokane, and that looks like a I'm surprised that one didn't get called there. But like we said, a physical game for both of these teams. But they bus these teams, the LRS, which, you know, the ground transportation team has been phenomenal busing these teams around. They bus them into town, and they get a chance to soak up Spokane, get a chance to walk around, to go shopping. And I know the Ireland team took a lot of shopping at Lululemon and Nike. They were saying those were their best stores that they were visiting there in Spokane.
And that's what it's all about, too. And also, even if you're not going around and shopping and sightseeing at times, because sometimes you only get one day off, right? But even everyone staying on the base at the Fairchild Air Force Base, I think, is very unique. That is so cool. So many times with different tournaments and things, these nations are staying in hotels, but some of them different hotels depending on what the nation decided to book. And so I think it's just so unique that these women from different militaries get to hear everyone else's story, and as we always say, friendship through sport, but also making friends, right? Hopefully friends from Belgium and Ireland, the United States, whether you're from Africa or Asia and South Korea, and the chance to understand where someone comes from. And that's what I enjoy most about the job, Shelby, and I know the same goes for you, is being able to tell those stories and being able to paint the picture for a lot of these athletes out on the pitch.
And what's cool about this one specifically is they're staying on base at Fairchild Air Force Base, and they're staying in the SEER dorm. SEER is Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape Training, and they have the 336 training group on Fairchild Air Force Base, and those are the dorms that these teams are getting to stay in, right? So they get the real look at the Air Force, the American military, and the SEER training side over there at the Air Force Base.
Good dispossession there by Belgium. That is Kim van Hoof, the center mid. The good deflection on the ball, was able to control it. Here's a ball, through ball to McGuigan, just a little bit too far.
Wow, McGuigan is really putting on the wheel. She has ran, that's 2-3 balls that we've seen now. She's running after those split balls, and she's going to make it in one of these times. Yeah,
and Angela McGuigan is one of those that does play football. McGuigan, who's an artillery officer in the Army for Ireland, played with Carrick United growing up, as well as Waterford United, and played with Munster development teams. So she's played football her entire life, and well, guess what? You can see it out on the pitch. Good foot race here. Look at this, neck and neck. How about the 60 times of these two? It's going to trickle past the touchline, so it'll be a goal kick, but wow. That was a foot race there between Sarah Van Latham and Saoirse O'Reilly. They were stride for stride. There's a track and field event for CISM, which I know there is. I want to have those two on the same team, or at least see those two compete against each other.
You can see some of these players shading their eyes on those goal kicks, and so we were talking about the disadvantage for the goalie here, Lauren Dunn, but it's also disadvantage on those goal kicks from the other goalkeeper, Belines. It's hard, it's tough to see in that sun.
Maybe a silly question, I'll ask it anyway. Would you ever wear sunglasses out on the pitch, or would that distract you a little bit too much if you did? Because I know you're never used to, but that's about 99.9% of the time. But the way that the sun sets here in Spokane, I've thought about it here in the booth, I'll tell you that.
Alex, I'm gonna make a very educated guess. It's been a long time since I played soccer, but pretty sure you're not allowed to wear sunglasses on the field for a safety reason. You know, if that ball is coming at your face like it has been here, it's tough, and that would hurt for sure. Definitely a safety issue.
Here's Sophie Donnelly. Sophie Donnelly, and that is saved. The keeper was out. That save was actually made by Laura Taufs, the right center back for Belgium. boy, that was the best look of the tournament there for Ireland. And Taufs was able to stop it with the right leg and the right foot. Right foot cross. Saoirse O'Reilly couldn't get to it. Good ball into the box there by Kim Turner, the right back. Just a little bit too much.
It really is the right idea, and we're seeing it. It's just a tad too much. We really need to... You want to hit it hard, but you don't want to hit it too hard that your offensive players can't get to it in time like that.
There is Taufs, who denied the goal for Donnelly.
You know, we were talking a little bit about the dorms and the housing for these teams. One thing that I didn't know, you know, when I saw this morning when we were going there to the dining facility, is that they decorate their halls and their dorms, these teams. There's flags, there's the Ireland flag. I know that they have theirs hanging up, but they're decorating their doors, and they're getting to play arts and crafts and just show some pride for their nation in the dormitories that they're staying in.
Saoirse O'Reilly, does she have the angle to take a shot? Instead tried to cross it, and it is gotten rid of there by Bochmans. Yeah, a lot of times, of course, you're staying in dorms when you're in college or university. So there's a lot of that, of course. Every time I remember in college, you know, decorating the dorm room a little bit. Saoirse O'Reilly has it. Right foot, left foot, O'Reilly. Good ball. McGuigan crashes, goes down, no call. That was the right idea there by Saoirse O'Reilly. Didn't quite have enough. If she would have taken a shot, I don't think she would have had enough power to get it past the keeper in Beelans.
I agree, and I want to give credit to McGuigan. She just fell, tripped through two different defensive players, and got right back up. What a tough player.
And also, too, I want to give credit to the back line of Belgium there. That could have been a chance for Ireland. The back line is holding strong for Belgium, doing a phenomenal job. All over the back of Donnelly was Deborah Teals, so a free kick here for the Irish. But if you're just joining us, maybe just waking up in Belgium or Ireland, getting ready for a Monday. I know Mondays are never the most exciting, but we hope you have a marvelous Monday. All of us here in Spokane, I know these women appreciate you guys tuning in. Here is Kehoe. Kehoe gonna cross. McGuigan, header. Saoirse O'Reilly. O'Reilly. And McGuigan, understanding that she was well offside, she said, unfortunately can't touch the ball here.
Looking at the scoreboard here, we're at the 33rd minute, 0-0. Both have 1 shot on goal. Man, talk about a better matchup of teams than that.
Saoirse O'Reilly, she is just waiting to strike Shelby. O'Reilly, McGuigan. McGuigan left foot denied. Good deflection there by the back for Belgium. That was Kim van Hoof, and actually she is a center mid, playing the role of the back inside the 18.
Great through ball there.
Foot race, and how about that? Splendid defense, and kind of an abbreviated slide tackle there for Siobhan O'Sullivan.
So for the Ireland team too, right, they all play different sports, but one of their best players, Jessica Moorhead, is actually injured, and she tore her ACL. She found out the Monday she got here, she tore her ACL, and she was not able to play. And she's still here supporting her team, rooting her on. She's not allowed to sit on the bench just because she is out of the roster, but I know she's here supporting these girls, and she's actually been up every morning working out, keeping up on her fitness to make sure that she's able to come back better than ever when she is done with her injury.
Here's Saoirse O'Reilly showcasing the Jets. O'Reilly trying to wait for teammates. Who was it last touched by? It was last touched by Kiersey Bochman. So it's an Irish corner here on the near side. And I want to get back to the story you just told about Miss Moorhead.
Well, you know what? It's devastating, right? You love this game and you love the team, but it's devastating to see that you can't support or can't play in this game, in this tournament with your team.
Catherine Meany here, an infantry soldier, a PTE in the Army. She is from Dublin. Left foot off the head. Boy, just off the mark. Was maybe the tallest player on the team for Ireland in Siobhan O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan, who was also in the Irish Army, could not connect over on the near post. But going back to what you said about Moorhead, it's tough. It's so tough, and that's the grueling part of sports sometimes, is the injuries, right? A lot of times it can deter you from wanting to get back and wanting to rehab and come back better than ever. I know she is determined more than anyone. Saoirse O'Reilly was off, so the flag went up, and Ireland couldn't believe it there. They thought O'Reilly timed it perfectly. Instead, the assistant referee over there in Geneva Dembele called her offside. But also, too, it can be a lonely place at times, right? Because you can't sit on the bench, and so it's frustrating, right? Because you want to be out there on the pitch, or at least on the bench, to where you can talk strategy and go over it with, you know, your sisters out on the pitch. So that's why it's important for us to talk about a player like Moorhead and make sure that she understands and knows that we're thinking about her and that Jess is being thought of here, because it's really frustrating and tough to come all this way. You get really excited for this tournament and for that injury to happen.
And we've seen it here, not a lot, but a few of these ladies here playing have been getting injuries that have made them sit out. And it is devastating, especially in the tournament as well, getting to play a couple games, getting a taste of the field, and being here in the CISM tournament, and then having to sit out because of injury. So that's why these hydration breaks, the medical team, they have everything out here to make sure that these players are fit and can stay fighting for their nations when they get back.
38th minute here. What does Belgium have? Ireland's defense is pretty stout here against Belgium, especially the latter part of this second half. Taufs with deflection. Gonna try the near side now. Sarah Van Latem. Van Latem to Teals. Connection not made from Teals to Sachlet. Saoirse O'Reilly essentially trying to head it to herself there. That is how lightning quick she is.
Speaking of injury, Alex, something interesting I learned a little right before the game really is that, you know, these teams are watching from home, but the coaches here for the Ireland team, what a deflection there, making sure it's out of the goal box. I'm sorry, I interrupted myself there watching the game.
Could be a right foot try. And a good body on the ball there by Dunn. And so figuring why not with Sachlet, who tried to take a chance. And Dunn makes the easy save.
So we were talking about the Ireland team watches from home. They make sure they're watching these games and getting to strategize. But something that a lot of people don't know about the U.S. military is we have a regulation about sunburns. So it's interesting because the government and the Air Force wants to make sure we're taking the best care of our body as we can. So they try to make sure that we're not getting extremely sunburnt to the point where we can't move, can't touch, can't do our jobs. But the Irish Defense Forces is the same way. So this team out here, and Darren Cody as the coach, he says, yes, we want you to watch these games, and we know the girls want to watch the games too. But we can't have you sitting out in the sun on these bleachers, getting blistered by the sun and getting a sunburn. And it's just interesting to me when I was told that's why they're staying at home and watching these games and not here on the field watching in person.
Catherine Meany trying to find the head of a teammate there. So Ireland, talking about sunburns. Adam White, our director, first day we got here. What did he say to us? He said, take care of your skin. Big proponent on that. Of course, you have to. Especially. I think the two biggest things out here, of course, besides all the PT work and making sure that you're working with the trainers if you have a little mini injuries, because this is a tough sport. You're running back and forth all the time and crashing bodies all diving on the pitch. But yeah, you need the sunscreen because that sun has been brutal here at Union Stadium. Also, too, got to hydrate. That's why they have those hydration breaks. Don't see them a whole lot in football. But a lot of these nations just not used to this type of weather.
And two, in a lot of these games, we've been seeing the play stop or take pauses because of a lot of injuries and fouls and just players that have gotten hurt and needed a little bit of a break and taking a knee. But in this game, I don't think we've seen really any. So the players really haven't had a break or a lull in the play, so they're just constantly running, sprinting up and down this field.
Here's Leah Walsh, the left back. Sophie Donnelly. Donnelly had the best chance for Ireland in the first half. It was actually a save by the right center back of Laura Taufs, who was acting as the keeper. Used the right foot to stop the ball, make sure it didn't go into the back of the net because the keeper in Beelans was outside the 6. Here's Saoirse O'Reilly. O'Reilly, right to the keeper in Beelans. Not a good pass that time by Siobhan O'Sullivan. See if Belgium can capitalize. Van Lechbecher over on the far flank. Still has it. And pushed down. So that was a good run there by Van Lechbecher, who forces the free kick.
This is really one of the best positions you can be in here as the final few minutes of the first half. Just a chance not too far off from the goal box and a pretty decent angle to cross in front of to get a touch on the ball for a goal.
So Kim van der Kruijsen is there as well as Taufs. Taufs with the fake. Van der Kruijsen into the 18, and it is now into the arms of Dunn. How about that boot there from Dunn? All the way onto the attacking half for Ireland, and McGuigan can make a run here. How about the attacking third? It's outside the 18. McGuigan. Left foot try, deflected. Kehoe into the mix. McGuigan again finds the ball at her feet. Good stop. Right foot cross, or a shot attempt. Was it deflected? It was. It's a corner kick. Nice run there by the Irish. That was Leah McAvoy, the holding midfielder. That was trying to cross it in. It was deflected off a Belgian defender. So, corner kick here for Ireland. So 2 minutes are going to be added. We're here in the 45th minute. There will be 2 minutes added. 2 minutes of stoppage time. This is plenty of time here for Catherine Meany to try and set something up with the left foot. Meany into the 18. And a foul against the Irish. Player is down inside the 6, or just outside the 6. Inside the end zone here at Union Stadium. That's Van Lechbeck here, who is down. I think she's maybe tying her boot. Now she's up.
Going into these additional minutes of the stoppage time, 2 shots total. Like I keep saying, an even, well-matched team, and what a great game so far. Just keeping it on in the middle of the field and deflecting and kind of transitioning between both of the teams. It's been exciting to watch.
Good interception there by Siobhan O'Sullivan. Closing stages here. Does Belgium have a last-second run in them? We've seen a lot of goals, and I mean a lot, a ton of goals scored in additional time.
Again, the offensive is just thwarted by the defense, the Irish defensive line.
I think both nations would be pleased with 0-0 at the half. Been a competitive first half. I know no goals into the back of the net. That's the name of the game. We understand that. I know these ladies understand that. But like we were talking about, possession's got to be close to 50-50, maybe 51-49 in favor of Ireland. And there is the whistle from the head referee and Giancarlo Pavone. So that will be halftime between Ireland and Belgium. Knotted up 0-0. Any thoughts before we step aside and take a break?
I really think this has been, like I said, well evenly matched, and I think Ireland can make a few finishing touches if they were just to, those through balls, a little bit less of a leg on there, which I know is hard to say and not easy to say and not hard to do, but if they do that, I think that McGuigan will be able to get a touch on the ball and get it in the back of the net.
So 0-0 between Ireland and Belgium. About a 15-minute break between these two nations. They're going to go into the locker room. They're going to talk about exactly what Shelby just said. They're going to listen to Shelby, and they're going to go talk it over and see if one of these nations can come back out, get their first goal ever in the CISM Women's Football Tournament, and maybe get their first win of the tournament. We are stepping aside here. We will see you on the flip side of our break.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Been a long time living off the wall. Years gone by that I can't recall. Rise from the rubble when I feel that rumble. One by one, gonna watch them tumble.
This is the United States Coast Guard. These are our people. These are the waters we protect. This is our home. We save lives while protecting our country. We live the mission every single day. No one else does what we do.
Searching for meaning in a relentless world. Always connected, but somehow alone. Trapped by illusion. We offer another path, where the battle to belong begins. Awakened by a calling. United by purpose. Defined by the cause you fight for.
And it's not about you! Work together to get over the hump!
No one can ever take away
You earned this, Marine.
what it means to be among the few, the proud, the Marines.
When our nation called, we answered. We are a force steeped in honor, history, and tradition. And we are proud. We come from a long line of those that fought for freedom, and we won't forget that. From the meadows of Lexington and Concord, to the beaches of Normandy, to the mountains of Afghanistan. Send me, they said. When our nation calls, we answer. We are the defenders of freedom and the American way of life. We are American soldiers.
The Earth is 70% water. And 30% land. But the entire sky belongs to us.
0-0 between Belgium and Ireland. Alex Gould alongside me is U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Shelby Pruitt-Johnson. Appreciate you joining us. Should be a good second half here between these two European counterparts. I believe we have some highlights of the first half. We don't have some highlights for the first half, going right into the match, Shelby. So what do you think some of the strategy is on both sides? Let's talk about Belgium first. I think they controlled the tempo and the pace pretty well the first 10 minutes or so. And then I actually like what they did, I'd say from minutes 38 to 45 plus. What do you think the talk was at the break for them?
You know, I think for both teams, it's really about offensive. I think the Belgian defensive is doing what they can to stifle the offensive attack. But I think both the offensive teams are going to have to, or both the teams is offensive, oh my goodness, a tongue twister. They're going to have to work on that to be able to get it in the net because their defense, both teams are doing pretty well in defense. They're both strong. It's like a wall back there. But for the offensive, it's just getting those matching touches, those sequencing shots in order to get a shot on the goal.
And so I think you answered what my next question was going to be. What do you think Ireland's going to do? But you talked about both of them, so that's good. You covered both in one question. But here we go. Belgium starts out with the ball. That's Sophie Sachelin, the right back for Belgium. Who's going to give in here? Who's going to break down the wall and break down the defense and find the back of the net? Again, both of these nations, the story coming in, we've talked about it, maybe you're just joining us. The story coming into this match is pretty simple for these two nations. Of course they want to win. They want those 3 points. But they also want to see their first tally. They want to see that first goal into the back of the net. It wouldn't just be the first of the match or even just the first of the tournament. It would be the first in its nation's history. So if Belgium or Ireland scores, it will be the first ever goal in the CISM Military Women's Football Tournament.
Well, you know, too, I want to see goals from either of the teams, but I want to see their celebrations, right? These teams are working so hard, traveling all the way here, going through all these obstacles, sleeping in the Denver airport for the Belgium team. And for them to get a goal, I know they would be elated, and I want to see that proud moment for both the teams.
And a lot of that is the motivation, right? Besides just wanting to win the match, of course, duh, that's the obvious reason. But two, yeah, you don't think this Belgian team, having slept in the Denver airport, doesn't want to see their first tally into the back of the net? And while they were probably getting ready to sleep in the Denver airport, they're planning their goal celebration. They're like, listen, we're going to be ready when that ball hits the back of the net. And for Ireland, they're thinking of people like Jess Moorhead, right, who doesn't have the chance to get that first goal for Ireland. So there's a lot of motivation on both sides as a player is down there for the Irish. That was Sophie Donnelly.
I think, too, a lot of maybe both of these teams are thinking about their friends and family at home who are watching. And if you are watching, thank you for joining us here. But getting to perform at this level here in Spokane, Washington, for their friends and family, their teammates, their unit members, their military in their nations, is got to be so exciting, and really just what great ambassadors they are here playing with these other nations.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is last call for concessions. They will be closing from within 10 minutes. So if you're thirsty or
Last call for concessions, Shelby, if you need to go get something. Or if you want me to get out of your ear, I'll go get us something. Just let me know.
We have 10 minutes. We'll wait till the last very minute because I want to see someone score a goal in this game.
So the Euros are going on. Women's Euros are going on right now in Europe. So we're looking at some scores from earlier today, Sunday, July 17th. I know it's now Monday morning in Belgium and Ireland, but the Netherlands knocked off Switzerland 4-1, and Sweden was able to take care of Portugal 5-0. Just trying to find some more scores on here. There we are. So Belgium's last match was against France. 2-1 in favor of the French in Group D. I know a lot of these women have been watching these games pretty intently.
Well, and like you said, it's that learning, right? They're not only watching the other teams play here, but they're watching their national team compete in the Euros.
The throw in here for Ireland. A little under 5 minutes into the second half. This will be another throw in for the Irish, right by the corner flag on the far side. This will be Leah Walsh. Here's McGuigan. Back out to Walsh. Walsh, left foot cross, but it was off the mark.
Leah Walsh is actually one of the players that have played on the team for 4 years now. This is her 4th year playing for the Irish Defense Forces military team. Really holding it together there for the offensive line.
Here's a left foot try, but that is also off the mark there for Catherine Meany. Good interception there in anticipation by Kim Turner. Player is down for Belgium after the slide tackle by Turner, and now we're going to get the stoppage and the whistle and the training staff for Belgium to come onto the pitch. That is Kim van der Kruijsen, who is down for Belgium, and of course, inadvertent contact there by Turner, who's making a play on the ball, and Giancarlo Pavone didn't even call a foul, thought she made a good enough play on the ball. And that's part of why this sport can be very tough. Hoping that van der Kruijsen is okay. She's a big part of this Belgium team. Van der Kruijsen, who's an OR1, med service from Ghent, Belgium.
You know who else is working hard out here is the med team. They have been sprinting on and off the field every single game, making sure these players are okay, spraying that icy hot, doing what they can to make sure they can continue to play and be in their best shape.
Van der Kruijsen gets a good ovation here for being able to get up. Trying to put some pressure on that leg. She already has a bandage on that left leg. She's clearly in some pain here. So Belgium will play down a woman here. An advantage for Ireland. And Ireland, that's a good gesture there by Kim Turner. Turner was the one who had the slide tackle on Van der Kruijsen, and that actually got a good clap from the Belgian sideline over there on the bench. Head coach and Nico van Ertsel, as well as the rest of the substitutes, really appreciated that gesture.
It's the sportsmanship. It's been remarkable watching these teams play. Competitive, but respectful. It's that friendship through sport. A lot of these teams and players don't even know each other, but they just have that mutual respect and love for the game, but also for each other, and making sure that, like I said, they're at their best shape and not hurting each other more than they really need to here on the field.
And I think also, too, we've talked about this, but the respect amongst the women who serve. and serve proudly, serve their countries. And although maybe some sort of training things could be different, of course, in different militaries, then of course you got different branches of the military in different countries. But I just, like you said, there's just a lot of respect amongst all that. And we've talked about it, but they get 2 weeks here to get away for a little bit, learn other stories, and also get to play a fantastic sport of football.
It really is a sisterhood, and I would say I was actually talking about it a little bit with A1C Curry, one of our camera operators. Nobody knows what a woman in the military goes through but another woman in the military, and just that relationship that we have without even knowing each other is phenomenal, and these players on the team have that as well.
And this is a chance for Belgium, and now the flag goes up offside. A couple of members of the back line there for Ireland were thinking that the ball went past the touchline, but Don Frein, the assistant referee from the Netherlands, said no, it did not. But I liked that point by you. It's the truth, I'm sure. That nobody knows what a woman in the military goes through but a woman in the military. And so that's why I think a lot of these women, yes, they want the gold medal, of course. They're here to win a gold. No doubt about it. All 10 nations are here to win the gold medal, but also are here to enjoy one another.
And we've seen that here. A couple of the teams hanging out too on their off time, right? The U.S. and Germany, and then I know that the U.S. is also hanging out with a couple of the other players and teams, and it really is just getting to know each other on a non-football level.
The player that's down for Ireland here on the pitch is Leah McAvoy. Every player for Belgium there is just shading the sun. That's what we're having to do in the booth here too. We're trying to duck underneath the monitor over here so that the sun doesn't keep getting our eyes, but that is just the way the sun sets on Union Stadium. So McAvoy is going to come off the pitch. McAvoy looks like she's headed to the locker room here. So Ireland is playing down a woman, and now Darren Cody, I think, is recognizing that and saying, hey, we got a sub here. Ireland is down a woman because McAvoy's headed to the locker room after that injury. And now I think the sub is checking in. That's Chloe Farrell. So Farrell is in and McAvoy is out.
Farrell is a cavalry trooper. 3 years with the team she's been playing. Let's see if she's able to make some plays and make it happen here in the second half for the Ireland team.
Good move by McGuigan. Good back heel. O'Reilly wasn't anticipating the pass there from Donnelly, but it's going to be an Irish throw-in. Good touch on the ball there by the substitute in Farrell. Kim Turner plays it back to Shannon Thomas. Thomas McGuigan makes a run. Could this be the first chance for Ireland? Good ball. Left-footed shot on frame right into the sun, and why not there from Catherine Meany, but the save by Beeland.
Pretty good run, and what a great idea for McGuigan to pass it back because she didn't have that angle.
Foul was called there on Belgium. I think the Belgian sideline thought that that was a foul on the back here. McGuigan thought about it there to Farrell. Instead, I believe that was booted off the ref, I think, and Giancarlo Pavone. And Pavone will drop it down. Turner. If O'Reilly right there kept moving, I know she can't anticipate that it's going to get behind the back line, but she would have kept moving there. I had a one-on-one with the keeper.
Kim Turner, though, doing her job in the back, getting it up there for the offensive line. She's been doing a pretty good job at just getting it up the field.
McGuigan. There's Catherine Meany. See if someone makes a run here. Meany, good ball. This is Donnelly. He's going to get to it by the corner flag. Donnelly trying to force the corner. And instead it's going to be a throw-in. Another good Irish attack here. As we get a sub check-in into the match for Belgium. As you see on your screen there, that's Valentine Caldy. So Valentine Caldy is into the match. So that's 15 in. And she is coming on for Deborah Teals. Teals is out.
And a substitution for Team Belgium. Coming off the field.
So Caldy is going to go into that right wing position.
Valentine Caldy.
You know, and I'll keep saying it, but both have had 3 shots on goal, both at 0-0. We're in the 62nd minute of the match. So even these teams play. They've been doing great, going with defense and offensive. It's just why aren't they making it happen there at the goal box?
Throw in here for Belgium. So about to reach the 64th minute. Who's going to blink first? Arnaldi set up well here. That was Van der Kleissen with a good pass. Arnaldi gets taken down. Free kick. That's a foul on Turner. So it'll be a free kick here for Belgium. And Turner going to get talked to by Giancarlo Pavone. Trying to say he didn't stay upright, and that's a clear foul on Turner. That's the right call. So Taufs and Van der Kleissen. It's going to be Taufs to take it.
Palps, an OR5 in the med service for the Belgian team, taking this kick.
It's a two-woman wall for Ireland. You have Turner as well as McGuigan. And Giancarlo Pavone trying to say, hey, make sure it doesn't hit the hands there. That's a handball inside the 18.
All the Belgian team has to do is get a touch on the ball and make it on frame. Let's see if they can do it.
And now going to get another discussion here. That is Shannon Thomas, who is tangled up with Sophie Saclet. So Taufs, can she set up the first ever goal for Belgium? It's inside the 18, just outside the 6, and it's booted away. Now we have a foot race. Here's Keogh. Can she lead O'Reilly? O'Reilly with good speed. Couldn't control it for a second there, though. It's allowing Belgium to get back. This is a 4-on-4 here. Good ball. Turner, the right back. Turner with a good stop, but the pass wasn't there. That was a great chance for Ireland.
I really think Turner could have made a shot there, whether it would have made it on goal or not, but that if it was a left-foot shot, I think she had the better chance there rather than passing it. And it might have just been a little bit too unselfish there.
Shannon Thomas, 5 years on a soccer scholarship in America. Started 25 of 47 matches for Delta State, a Division II school in Mississippi. She got her bachelor's degree in physical education. Good battle here by Van der Kruijsen and O'Reilly as both women are on the ground. Giancarlo Pavone is talking to, you see Darren Cody there, the manager. Darren Cody, by the way, he played for the men's team, defense men's team of Ireland from 1997 to 2008. I was actually watching him warm up before the match. I think he's still got something in him. I know it's been 14 years or so, but he's looking pretty skilled there. So this is the hydration break for Ireland and Belgium. 0-0 still, 67th minute between these two nations. You take a look, there's the Irish flag that is waving with pride here in Spokane. And what I think is so unique too is you have a lot of different people who maybe either grew up in Ireland or Belgium, whatever it may be, or just have that bloodline in them. And they take pride in that. So maybe born here in America and American citizens, but are very proud of the way that some of these women for Ireland and Belgium are competing. All of the women.
Exactly, and you know what? We saw on the South Korean game, the Spokane Area Korean Association came out, right? And they might not know any of these girls, but it's that bloodline. They're both excited to support these women here today.
Again, Alex Gould, U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Shelby Pruitt-Johnson, and our terrific two audio-visual squadrons. It's been a great match. 0-0. Someone's still looking for their first goal of the match and of the tournament of its nation's history. Final 20-plus minutes here between these two European counterparts. McGuigan. Another foot race. Here's 17 and 9. That is Saoirse O'Reilly, as well as the right back and Sarah Van Latten. Good interception and anticipation there by Catherine Meany. Meany moved to Texas in 2011 in the United States. That's where you're at, Shelby, on a soccer scholarship. And she's currently playing for the senior level with the Tech United ladies in Dublin for the past 7 years.
You know, playing in Texas, I can't imagine the heat, right? I don't even play soccer, and I'm hot in San Antonio, so I can't imagine playing the game for Meany there in the state of Texas.
But you grew up in Ohio, correct?
Yes.
So how were the summers in Ohio? Pretty humid?
Honestly, not that bad. I would say it feels kind of like this. I would say it's got a little bit of humidity, but it feels pretty much like this, the 80s, the 90s, nothing too hot. But once it hits the 60s, we're all in short sleeves. So it's definitely kind of like this.
Sub coming on to the pitch for Ireland. Looks like Chloe Foy over there, who's going to check in for Sophie Donnelly. So Chloe Foy into the match. Sophie Donnelly out.
We talk about the players that play football and the players that play other sports. Chloe Foy is currently playing for Mills Celtic, and she's a corporal in the Army.
Sun finally starting to go behind the trees over there. Boy, that's a beautiful shot, though, Shelby. That is picturesque. It is so pretty here in Washington. Here in Spokane. See if we can get that sunset at some point when there's a stoppage.
Well, you have mountains in Tennessee, kind of, right? A little bit?
Yeah, we're where we live. We're in the hills a little bit, in the mountains. Yeah, you got the Smoky Mountains. That's not quite in Nashville, Tennessee, but near Chattanooga, and that's a beautiful drive. I'll tell you, I was spoiled growing up in Los Angeles. Mountains and hills in the background.
Talked to the training staff for the Belgium team, and we were talking a little bit about what the Belgium team is doing on their days off as well, and they also got to go a chance to go into the city and go shopping too. They went to River Park Square, checking out downtown Spokane and the shops down there, and it's interesting that what these girls want to do on their days off is shop.
You got some pretty cool sneakers the other day.
I did, yes.
And you weren't even looking for them.
I wasn't. I was looking for khakis because it is a long tournament.
'73rd minute. 17 plus to go. One of these teams, nations trying to get that ball into the back of the net, get their first win.
Something interesting, too, about the Irish team, they went kayaking with the Irish Defense Forces kayaking group in Ireland a week before they came here and traveled to the U.S., and I think that's exciting to support from all the other different players and sports and teams in their defense forces, really supporting them and giving them a good send-off to come here today, just like Fairchild Air Force Base giving the U.S. a pep rally before they started the tournament.
Corner kick, Team Belgium.
So Van Lefbeck here forced the corner. This is Van der Kruijsen. Can she set up a teammate to give Belgium their first goal of the tournament? Van der Kruijsen, right foot, and it looked like the flag went up for offside. Well, that's tough there if you're Belgium. Not timing the run. Was Caldy? Good move by Kehoe, but it was intercepted there by Bochmans. McGuigan is wide open, and she's going to still find it at her feet. You know, the pass wasn't quite there.
So speaking of beautiful Union Stadium that these ladies are playing on every single day, kind of wanted to shout out a few people that Lieutenant Colonel Kirschman really values and that have really done a great job at letting
Could be the chance for Ireland. Got to interrupt you here, Shelby. Left foot try, but not enough there for Chloe Farrell. And the save by Beelans. Boy, Farrell just couldn't get enough on the ball with that left foot. That was a nice setup. That started with Chloe Foy, the substitute who just checked in. You see Farrell, momentum taking her away from the goal. That's a tough shot, tough angle. And Beelans was on the perfect side to make that save. Here's McGuigan again. I promise you, we're gonna get to your story here. Right foot try and a save. For now, it's going to be a corner kick. Good try there on the shot attempt by Shelley Kehoe.
I'll tell you, Alex, I would much rather see Ireland score a goal here than listen to myself talk, so I'm okay with that interruption.
Catherine Meany to take it. Could this be the first for the Irish? Looking for it. No flag. Into the back of the net. And there it is. The first in its nation's history. The first of the tournament. And the first of the match for Ireland. It's the left center back in Siobhan O'Sullivan. A moment the Irish will never forget here in the 78th minute.
This is what they did. This is what they came here for, and this is the celebration we were looking for. Look at that. Every single one of them so happy. Beautiful touch, just crashing the goal and making sure they got a body part on the ball.
It was a scrum inside the 6. That's what you're trying to do on corner kicks, Shelby, is just cause havoc. And now Ireland, after they got their first, maybe looking for a second here with Saoirse O'Reilly as well as Kehoe. But boy, we like to talk about trivia questions. We talked about Mali the other day, talking about their first goal ever. How about the trivia question for years to come? Who was the first player to score for Ireland in its military nation's history in the women's football tournament? That answer is Siobhan O'Sullivan. She is in the Army. And boy, was that a big moment for the Irish. And what a ball by Catherine Meany inside the 6. Perfect ball. Just kind of ping-ponged around a couple of different players on both sides. And Siobhan O'Sullivan just got enough of a touch past the keeper and Beelans. They're looking for number 2 here on frame, but it's going to be stopped by Beelans, who juggled it for a second.
Well, Alex, you heard it here. The bench screaming, so happy. The fans erupting in just a cheer, and our friends and family watching, I'm sure they were having a party where they are watching it from. But we also, our teammates in the truck, they're having a cheerful time too, watching this goal for the Irish team.
Not a bad thing to wake up to in Ireland. Again, you got to hold on to this lead if you're the Irish. Belgium still trying to find a way to come back in this match. Got 10-plus minutes to do so. Right now having to try and stop this attack and this throw-in for Ireland. But this match started at 3 a.m. in Ireland. 3 a.m. It's now 4:35 in the morning. A lot of people hoping that they can wake up to a 1-0 victory for the Irish. Of course, those folks in Belgium hoping that they can find their first ever goal in the tournament. Here's a foot race, done, decisive. Good decision, boots it down the pitch.
We've seen it time and time again. It does not take a lot of time to make a goal here, and they have 10 minutes, Belgian team, 10-plus minutes to make it happen here and get it 1-1.
Caldy trying to orchestrate the attack. Van Beck here. Tried to cross it in. Nobody was there. Now, we talk about this in the military. It's all the puns, but can the Irish defense hold here? That's what they're trying to do. As much as they would love to add a second goal, you got to think that they're pretty close to parking the bus in about 3 or 4 minutes or so, making sure that there's no chance that Belgium can tie this match at 1.
And two, on the flip side, you have to think about Belgium. Although disappointed that one was let in the goal, this might be the motivation they need to come back harder and stronger and get one right back here in the next couple of minutes.
Good touch on the ball by O'Reilly. Here is Kehoe trying to put on the Jets here. Now Kehoe stops, waiting for some teammates. There's Meany, who set up the goal. That is a definite foul on Shannon Thomas. So as a reminder, our matches tomorrow, taking a look ahead at the schedule. Mali takes on the Netherlands. Mali looking for their first ever win as well, much like Ireland and Belgium. And then France and Canada at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So we hope you can join us for some Monday football. But Darren Cody, he told me before the match, manager for this Ireland team, he said, today's the day. That's what he said to me. He said, feeling good, got some good practice time in, got a chance to regroup after the loss to Cameroon. He's hoping that the ladies can hang on for another 7+ minutes. Come away there with their first ever victory.
Leo Walsh there with the deflection on the defensive line.
O'Reilly, again, slide tackle, throw in for Ireland. How hard has Sarah Van Latem been working today? Boy.
It looked like she was pointing to her eye.
So the training staff out to check on Van Latem. Says that she is good to go. So a throw in here for Leah Walsh. Ireland trying to chew some clock a little bit. Meany. Belgium counter potential here. We were talking about this in the previous match between Germany and Cameroon. We said at some point that we'd see Germany go in an all-out attack. It was their last match of the tournament. But also in a similar setting like this, both of these teams know that they're not going to make the gold medal match or the bronze medal match. So you got to think that Belgium, they can keep the ball on their attacking third. Going to push as many as they can to try and score the equalizer.
I think, too, and another way to think about that is if they know they're not making it to the bronze or the gold, using this as a kind of like a practice, a lesson learning like we've been talking about for the entire time, is them learning from this game, playing the best football they can, and making sure they do what they think and what they've learned.
Not a great decision there by the keeper, but this is well off target from Meany. '77th minute goal by Siobhan O'Sullivan. The difference in this match. Both teams control possession right around 50-50. It's been that type of match between these two. But Ireland gets their first ever tally in the tournament. Now trying to hang on and get their first ever win in the World Military CISM Football Championship.
We will see Ireland and Belgium again on the 19th. Ireland facing the U.S. and Belgium facing Cameroon, who we saw earlier today.
Drop in, Chloe! Drop in, Chloe! 16! You got your toes! Drop in, drop in, drop in! The two!
Nice catch over there by Lieutenant Colonel Kirschman. Look at that, good hands. I know he was a back line member at the Air Force when he played collegiately, Division I. Maybe he could have been a keeper as well.
You can hear the tensions are high. The excitement is high over there on the sidelines for both teams. You can hear it way from over here. They're yelling, screaming, supporting their team members and wanting to see if they can finish it either 1-0 or keep it tied 1 or make it tied 1-1.
You can see for Ireland here, everyone is back. They are making sure that they can do everything defensively that they can to go ahead and win this match 1-0. This could be an opportunity here. Dunn's outside the 6. Dunn sliding and a collision. Dunn is down, as well as a member for Belgium. Boy, you talk about sacrificing your body out on the pitch. Man, we hope that both of these women are okay. Both are down. That is Van Lefbecher and Dunn. Take a look at this again. Dunn, you think she doesn't want it here, Shelby? And she's still down. boy, just making sure that Belgium couldn't get one into the back of the net.
That takes such courage. Like you said, putting your body in front of the ball and just not being afraid of the players. Multiple players that are coming towards you at full speed.
So both ladies are down. Don't ever tell Lauren Dunn or Lara van Lechtbecher that they don't want it. Medical staffs are out there, as well as the head coach for Ireland and the manager, and Darren Cody. Think he doesn't appreciate what Dunn just did? Lauren Dunn, who's an infantry soldier. She looked like a soldier on that play. I'm telling you, she doesn't make that play. That's a goal for Belgium. Van Lechtbecher would have had an open net.
What a great shot there by our team. Just really getting to see Lauren Dunn feeling better and getting tended to by her medical staff.
So Van Lechtbecher is up. That's good to see for Belgium. She is going to stay on the pitch. Dunn being helped up. Just amazing. And deservedly so, a standing ovation. Sacrificing her body to make sure that Belgium could not get the equalizer. Those are things you pencil in at the end of the tournament. Ireland may not win the gold medal. They may not win the bronze medal either. But boy, they are trying to do everything they can. Lauren Dunn's trying to do everything she can to make sure that Ireland wins their first ever match. And that was a boot.
Immediate offensive there for Ireland.
Does Belgium have one final run in them? That was a brilliant chance and a brilliant opportunity. If it wasn't for Dunn making the decision immediately to dive out on the line, sacrifice her body, the score could be different. So 3 minutes of added time, as you've seen on your screen. This is not what Belgium wants to see. A lot of time wasted here. Free kick for Ireland. You know that they're going to try and put the ball inside the 18, or at least by the corner flag over there, and take up a lot of this clock.
You know, I'll tell you, Alex, I'm surprised there aren't more Ireland players forward, like you were saying earlier, making that push up in the front.
There's Meany. Good through ball. And the flag goes up offside. Right idea. That was Kehoe that was called for being offside. If you're Belgium here, just, got to do exactly that. That's Taufs. Got to try and boot it down the pitch here. And that's the exact right play. Looks like onside. McGuigan has O'Reilly. McGuigan looking for a second, a right foot save by Beelans. Boy, McGuigan had numbers, decided to take it herself, and a great save for Beelans. Now if you're Ireland, Shelby, you got to get back on defense here. Here's Van Lechtbecher. Final 40 or so seconds left. Taufs, de Vonderkruisen. Ireland should be pushing everyone back defensively here. I'm surprised they have so many that are up front. Now Meany trying to waste time. It's all up to the head referee and Giancarlo Pavone. O'Reilly was off, but this will also waste time. So the head referee there from Canada, Giancarlo Pavone, he has the last say.
O'Reilly really has the right idea of making those runs. The timing just needs a tiny bit of work. And it looks like...
Yeah, Saoirse O'Reilly just got a yellow card there. That's the last thing you want to see if you're Ireland in this spot for stalling. One last gas here for Belgium. Can they keep it on their attacking third? That's the only way the whistle's going to stay down. Now Saoirse O'Reilly, who just picked up the yellow card, could have a one-on-one with the keeper and Beelans. O'Reilly, and a sliding save again for Beelans. Boy, how about both keepers tonight, Shelby? Sacrificing their bodies.
Beelans was definitely putting in work there. Both those saves within a minute.
And now a player is down for Ireland over on the far flank. I believe that is O'Reilly. Boy, Beelans just made two beautiful kick saves. Didn't need to use the hands at all. So we hope that O'Reilly's okay over there. We're well past the 3-minute mark, but that's because there's been a lot of stoppages in stoppage time. What a thrilling final 20 minutes of this match. I mean, the pace really picked up. The intensity was there the whole way. Take a look at this again. And that was the foul called against Arnaldi against O'Reilly. And O'Reilly sprints off the pitch. There's a couple of subs coming in here. Try and get them to you if we can, but I know the whistle's also going to blow. 20 and 17, got to say their names. Emer Nolan is into the match, as well as Mary Gallagher. So those two are into the match. 9 and 8 are out. Kehoe and O'Reilly are out. Can they set up a second goal? Beelans is on the ground. Ireland looking for number 2. See if Giancarlo Pavone is going to let Belgium have one last chance here. That's a foul, so we still play on here. Belgium is gassed, so is Ireland. It's intercepted. And this could about do it here. Ireland's waiting for the whistle. Not there yet, even though we're now 5+ into stoppage time.
Well, you talked about the pace, and you can tell it is picked up dramatically in the last 30 seconds here between both teams.
Beelans boots it down. Still all up to the head referee and Giancarlo Pavone. Nearing double what the allotted time was. Turner, who's been great as the right back, leading Farrell here. Farrell was onside. Farrell trying to make a move, a collision. Farrell stays with the ball, stays with the play. Chloe Farrell with a right foot try and another save for Beelans. This match may never end. 1-0 Ireland, 6+ into stoppage time.
Look at the passion between both teams, right? We're in the final few seconds, and both teams are still giving it their all.
And that's going to be a foul, and it's going to be a yellow card there. So we've seen 2 yellow cards in the last 6 minutes as well. That's a yellow card on number 3, Leah Walsh. So Walsh gets the yellow card there. So Ireland just picked up 2 yellow cards in the final 5 minutes of this match. And this is it. This will be it. I'm telling you right now. Tauf's trying to set up a stunner here. Trying to set up an equalizer. Trying to level this match. Can Belgium get their first ever goal in the CISM Military Football Tournament? It's headed away. Tauf's ricochet. And that is it. Ireland wins their first ever CISM Military Women's Football match. The celebration is on here in Spokane. And whether you stayed up or not, I know the celebration will be on in Ireland. What a moment here for Ireland.
We talked about the celebration and that this is it. The raw, pure emotion, the hard work paying off for Ireland. Although they might not be making it to the championship match, they did what they wanted to do here in this game against Belgium.
Siobhan O'Sullivan. Don't ever forget the name. When Ireland has been in the Women's Military Football Tournament for 20+ years, that's the name you'll want to remember for her goal. She's the hero for the Irish. She was able to poke a ball past the keeper, and Beelans was brilliant tonight for Belgium. And it was set up on the corner kick by Catherine Meany. So Catherine Meany with the assist, Siobhan O'Sullivan with the goal in the 77th minute. And how about also the save, sacrificing her body. Lauren Dunn, the keeper for the Irish, who went down, was able to fortunately stay in the match, but it would have been a goal for Belgium had she not on the backside of that play.
Well, and talking about keepers, Beelans for the Belgian team has really been putting in work the last couple of seconds of that game. She'd been tested over and over and making the saves over and over, keeping the Irish team from scoring another goal.
And I know that there's a lot of people in Ireland. We've done a lot of shout-outs. There's a lot of people watching. But I know that Darren Cody in this moment is going to want to shout out Margaret Hogan, the driving force to get this tournament happening for the first ever time, a backbone of this mission and of these military women. And you see him right there elated. And why not? They've worked so hard for this, Shelby. You see Darren Cody there, the manager, some tears of joy, and a big, monumental moment for their nation.
Absolutely. I know they're going to go home and celebrate and get to have some fun and relaxing time after this match.
So Ireland defeats Belgium 1-0, their first ever victory in the 13th CISM Women's Football Championship. And you see, the celebration's been on since the final whistle, Shelby, and they'll be dancing back to Dublin when it's all said and done. They will never forget this moment.
Absolutely. We'll have to catch us here tomorrow for the next game that we have against Mali.
Take a look at the updated rankings. Ireland, boy, when they take a screenshot of this graphic right here, they'll remember that forever as well. 3 points for the first time ever. They're now in 4th place in Group A. Cameroon, of course, with their win over Germany 3-0 in the first match today. And then Group B will continue again tomorrow. Mali versus the Netherlands. Mali trying to showcase what they can do and maybe win their first ever match. The Netherlands, who got their first goal the other day, was a big deal. And then France and Canada at 7 p.m. Pacific time. I know there's some highlights before we come off the stream, but here in the booth, we're going to sign off. Alongside me was U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Shelby Pruitt-Johnson, Alex Gould, John Anderson, and our terrific crew. We say so long. After the first week of action, week number 2 begins again tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow for Mali and the Netherlands. Good night, everybody.